Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Bullet Points is something that is essential in our fight for our rights and passing the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. We need to be proactive. The best time to fight a problem that's occurring is before it happens. That's what we're going to focus on today because there are two ballot initiatives that are going on nationwide that we all need to be aware about. One is a tremendous infringement upon our Second Amendment rights, and one is a freedom-affirming movement. This is incredible. I'm going to walk you through both of them because we need to know about them in order to get in front of any problems that will happen in the future from those pesky gun controllers. Now, everything is linked in the description box below per usual. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor who brought this video, USCCA, and then we're going to dive into it and walk through what's on these ballot proposals going forward. Now, the USCCA is something bigger than just supporting the 2A rights. It's about preparation for before, during, and after a self-defense incident. If you're not one of the 500,000 plus responsibly armed members of USCCA, what are you waiting for? There's amazing learning resources. There's amazing opportunities. Everything is linked in the description box below. And personally, I've seen behind the curtain, and it's something that you'll want to check out. As I mentioned, there's a link in the description box. Check them out, and thank you so much to USCCA for making this content possible. But all right, my brothers and sisters, we've got to dive into these two ballot initiatives, as I mentioned in the intro. Because what we need to do in this movement is not only respond to threats like we do very, very well, but we need to preemptively act and prevent them from ever occurring. That's one of the things that I try to focus on this channel, and this is an example of such. These two ballot initiatives are crucial. The first one we're going to hit on is coming out of Iowa. This is a positive. But here's the article, just for reference, it's linked. Guns. Voters in 2 states will face measures on the hot button issue of guns. This is coming up in the midterm elections. This is 3 weeks from now. The first one we're going to hit is Iowa. In Iowa, the right to the firearms amendment would add language to the state constitution affirming the right to own and bear arms and restrict strict judicial scrutiny of any alleged violation. Require strict judicial scrutiny of any alleged violation. If passed, the language might not only prevent future tightening of gun laws in the state, but could also put existing statutes at risk. Translation: this will not only shield us and ward us off in a preemptive manner from future gun control in Iowa, but it will also challenge existing gun control in Iowa. This is the type of stuff that we need to see on every single state because this will just simply reaffirm and make more and more obstacles for the infringing gun controllers to overcome. That's what we need to do, and this is a really good example. Now here, it's just a snippet from the joint resolution. You can check it out. Again, it's linked. A joint resolution. This is Senate Joint Resolution 7. Proposing an amendment to the Constitution of the state of Iowa relating to the right of the people to keep and bear arms. So this is going into their Constitution. That's why it's on the ballot. This is crucial. The right to keep and bear arms, Section 1A. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's almost like it's one in our Bill of Rights. Anyway, the sovereign state of Iowa affirms and recognizes this right to be a fundamental individual right, which it is. Any and all restrictions of this right shall be subject to strict scrutiny. That is so strongly worded, you can't wiggle out of that. If you want to infringe upon the Second Amendment rights in any way, whether it be red flag laws, safe storage laws, magazine bans, AR bans, mag ban, whatever you want, it's going to be under strict scrutiny because it's now in the state of Iowa's Constitution that the right to keep and bear arms is affirmed, which is ironic because it's in the Bill of Rights as well, which is national, but we're not going to get into that right this second. This is a big one. If you're in Iowa, this is something you guys need to be aware of, need to be talking to people about, and vote for this measure because this would put Iowa in a lock column. This is solid stuff, and if it works, you're going to see it in other states going forward with more initiatives. That is part of our movement. That is how we're going to pass the blessing to the next generation. But now I've got to show you the threat on ballot initiative. This is from Oregon, Measure 114. We've talked about this a couple times, but here's a summation. The opposite is happening in Oregon, where Measure 114 would ban magazines with more than 10 rounds and would require a permit and safety course to buy a gun, unconstitutional. The measure's chief petitioners were Portland clergy members, and reflecting the state's rural-urban divide, it has stirred strong opposition outside Metro Portland. That needs to rally. This cannot be affirmed. Gun control measures have generally fared well in Oregon, driven by the heavy Portland area vote. But the dynamics of this year's gubernatorial race could be a wild card. Now they're talking about the fact that Oregon might have a red governor This is a big thing, and it's indicative of the nationwide trends of what we're covering. But this one right here, here and now, Measure 114 must be stopped. If you are in Oregon, you've got to get out there and you've got to tell people to vote against Measure 114. Here's what it's going to do. Oregon Measure 114. The Changes in Firearm Ownership and Purchase Requirements Initiative is on the ballot in Oregon as an initiated state statute on November 8, 2022, 3 weeks from now. A yes vote supports the ballot initiative to do the following. Require permits issued by local law enforcement to buy firearms. Unconstitutional. Require photo ID, fingerprints, safety training, criminal background check, and fee payment for apply for a permit. Unconstitutional. Prohibit manufacturing, importing, purchasing, selling, possessing, using, or transferring ammunition magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds and make violations a Class A misdemeanor. Unconstitutional. All three of these things are unconstitutional, and even the Republicans and the pro-2A members there in the state of Oregon know that this is going to be struck down in the court should it even be affirmed. But let's save the time, let's save the money, let's save the energy, and just strike it down now by not affirming it, Oregon. A no vote opposes the ballot initiative, thereby maintaining no limit on the capacity of ammunition magazines except for hunting. And the existing law, which requires a seller transfer to request a background check before firearm purchase, also unconstitutional, but I'll take where I can get it. The whole point here is we've got the initiative. These are the only two gun initiatives that are going on nationally, Iowa and Oregon, and that is why we are covering it, because we are going to preempt the gun controllers before they even get going. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next episode. I'm Braden. See you later.